A Polish expression translates as, not my circus, not my monkeys. It means, not my problem. Redditors, what other great expressions do you know in another language? One I heard in Finland that is either specifically to children who are being stubborn. Either you'll do it or you'll cry and do it. Our first sergeant used to tell us, you can cut the grass or you can cut the grass angry. Either way, you're still going to be cutting the grass. As I can recall, the grass was mostly sand and pine needles. Frank Skinner was a QI and he recalled a Greek proverb that translated to, there is trouble in the gypsy village, basically meaning, who cares? It's a little more like, tell me something I don't already know, but yeah, it's a not caring vibe. Not funny, but I like it, from Russia. In times like these, it helps to remember there have always been times like these. I'm not Russian and my experience of the Russian people has been a bit limited, but this is exactly what I found the Russian sense of humor to be like. I think it's hilarious. A Dutch phrase translates roughly to hero at night, hero in the morning. It basically means get plastered at night and don't be grumpy about the hangover when you wake up. There is a Korean expression for coming up with a solution that is no solution at all. It translates as roughly, you got a cat to watch your fish. In Finnish, a similar idiom is goat guarding the field of cabbage. Australia has some great expressions. They are in English but can be ambiguous to any native English speaker. One of my favorites is float out like a lizard drinkin', which literally means you're extremely busy. Oh man, what is with Australians and ambiguous idioms? I never knew whether to grin or nod solemnly. There is a Danish saying that goes, a thief thinks every man steals. I really like that one, but we actually have a lot of good expressions here in Denmark. In Spanish, we use that too. In Finnish, when you do something in a greatly idiotic and or inefficient way, you can say that they climbed up the tree ass first. I don't recognize this. How's it written? Tried to Google it, but I don't find anything. In Spanish, there's one that says, a closed mouth swallows no flies. In other words, keep quit if you don't know what you're talking about. Some other Spanish ones, don't enter a kicking contest with Samson, so don't bite off more than you can chew. And the devil knows more because he's old rather than because he's the devil. Old people are crafty. In Italian, you can't have the wine cask full and your wife drunk. Basically the equivalent of you can't have your cake and eat it too. Since there's so many Russian expressions here, I'll add my own. Never heard it used by anyone else, but this is a favorite of my dad when something goes wrong or makes him angry or surprised. Translated, it means the dog screwed the wolf. There are similar versions. Frog screwed a snake means there are two bad people arguing. I like that goodbye in Japanese literally means to if it must be so. You use it when you're not going to see the other person for a while. In Scotland, we have a saying which literally means lots of small things make a big thing. It's used pretty much the same way, look after the pennies and the pounds will take care of themselves. We're pretty tight here. There's a Russian phrase I love, stop messing with my brain with all of your questions. Another Russian saying, don't put noodles on my ears. It basically means stop lying to me. It's like a pupil is making up a ridiculous story to his class teacher and why he is late for class. Then his teacher tells pupil's story to the school principal, who then tells it to the whole school. It is funny even if you don't speak the language. Making blue in German means being lazy. The reason is that it took so long to make blue dye, the chemist would sit around and wait for the reaction to occur. Therefore, if you're making blue, you're just sitting around not doing anything. There are so many little phrases in German that mean very, very different things than they do in English. Fuck you in Boston means that is not happening. Depending on intonation and context, this could also be a friendly greeting, surprised skepticism, or a chortle in appreciation of a good joke or witty turn of phrase. The British, or at least the English, use the phrase higgledy-piggledy when describing something that is messy or disorderly. I.e., I couldn't find my blue shoes because the wardrobe is higgledy-piggledy. I have no clue how that translates into other languages. I remember hearing this phrase on the American cartoon Doug. If anybody said whatever they thought, everything would be all higgledy-piggledy. I didn't know that this was a British phrase. Here are some French-Canadian stuff. Dressed like a Jack's dog, dress poorly. Equipped to stay up all night, very well endowed when speaking about a male. She's got people on the balcony. Busty. Crapping staples, being very nervous or afraid of something. Changing 4/4 into a buck. Coming back to the same thing. Talking in the helmet. Angrily yelling at someone, giving someone problems. My favorite is making the monster cry, which means to go take a pee. I'm Polish and haven't ever heard or read anything like that. These are more common though. Somewhat related. My world, my crayons, own opinion. A scythe met the rock, someone has found a match. Grandmothers like to tell their grandchildren, do not sit on the stonework or you'll catch a wolf, meaning unknown. A popular phrase here, in a place where 6 female cooks cook, there's nothing to eat. The meaning, if too many people try to do one task, the task won't be done. A person who accidentally omits good aspects while omitting bad ones will pour out a child with the bathwater. In the moment of death, a person kicks the calendar. Grandma's warning you mentioned isn't really a saying, it's an old conviction that sitting on a cold surface may cause bladder infection. Wolf is a pretty old euphemism for it. I heard the one about circus and monkeys quite often, usually when people gossip about horrors on the other's projects and are blissfully happy it's not their responsibility to deal with the mess. Have a few Dutch ones. To have butter on your head, also being guilty. You can imbibe some poison to that. You can be sure of that. That hits like pliers on a pig. That doesn't make any sense. To kick down an open door. To do something that's already been done, or say something that it's already been said. Obvious. Having the bullet pass through the church. Announcing a big decision. While we're at it, with the cats. Tell that to the cat. I'm not so gullible as to believe what you just said. A cat in a cramped space will make strange jumps. People will try anything when they're desperate enough. The Irish language has so many expressions perfect for this thread. One of them mean it's generally a person's mouth that gets its nose broken. One of the most beautiful ones I know is in Arabic. We use this expression only in Lebanon, maybe Syria, Palestine, Jordan as well, not sure. It literally means, you bury me, as in, I love you so much, I want to die before you do. Here's one in my Spanish phrase book. You're about as useful as an octopus in a garage. There's another Spanish expression about octopodes, which means you're going to kick someone like an octopus. It's apparently a reference to the historical method of octopus tenderization in Galicia. I will, yeah, in Ireland means whatever you asked me to do, there is no hope of it ever getting done. Or you will in your eye, or you'll never do that. In French, to say mind your own business, it literally means mix your own onions. Actually, the literal translation is more concern yourself with your own onions. A Czech told me this one developed after years of Nazi Soviet rule. Don't think it. If you think it, don't say it. If you say it, don't write it down. If you write it down, don't sign it. If you sign it, don't be surprised. A very old one. I fear the Greeks even when they bring gifts. When someone is uncharacteristically nice. When they want something. That one I have heard of as beware Greeks bearing gifts, i.e. the Trojan horse. There's a German expression that translates to, what do you think I poo money? Also a Russian one that's like, I need that, like I need teeth in my butt. In English it's, I need that, like I need another hole in the head. Or, I miss it, like a hole in the head, i.e. not at all.